Alright guys, welcome to your opening range breakout strategy tutorial. So this strategy is phenomenal. It's working so well. I've never seen anything with such a high win rate. But first of all, we need to get set up, alright? So the first thing you want to do is head over to the indicators tab. You want to type in Lux Algo opening range. Okay, and this is the one you want here. Okay, so if you click on the little file folder here, this is what it looks like. Okay, it basically sets the opening range for New York Stock Exchange, but we're going to change some of so we're going to change some of the settings here. Okay, to make sure that we can get it to work for London and also for New York. Okay, so first things first, once you click on the set indicator, it's going to come up here in the right left hand side. Okay, first thing we want to do is set it to 15 minutes, okay, because we want a 15-minute opening range. Now these are the New York settings based on if you live in the UK. So these are the New York time zones. Okay, so 9:30 to 9:45 for New York. And when we're trading London in the morning, we just need to change that to 3 a.m. to 3:15. Okay, so that's here, and that will give you, okay, the settings here from 8 o'clock in the morning to 8:15. That's the opening range. Okay, obviously if it's New York, then you need to have it set to 9:30, which is New York Stock Exchange open, to 9:45. Okay, so we're just going to leave it like that for a second. Okay, UTC -4, based on if you live in the UK. You can have breakout signals if you want. If you just take this away here, that will produce a little green arrow when the breakout occurs, right? You can have it set to daily bias or set to no bias. It's entirely up to you. Up color, down color, pretty self-explanatory. The second thing you need to change, okay, is you need to change the targets, okay, because we're going to use 100% deviation of the range. That measures the range from bottom to top or top to bottom based on the breakout and gives you one deviation target, two deviation targets. So it's based on however big this range is. Okay, let's say this is 100 pips. Your take profit is basically set at 1R, right? But you may just find that we're closing above, so we need to take profit just a little bit higher. It's a one-to-one based strategy. So when you hit the one-to-one, you need to be taking the majority of your position off, if not all of it. Okay, so set that to 100, and that's basically it. Okay, right, so here's an example of how we look to enter this breakout. Okay, so breakouts are very simple. It's one of the easiest and quickest ways to enter the market, and there are a couple of videos in the Discord. I think the gold trading strategy, the top video of all the YouTube videos that I've got in the channel, that will explain to you how a breakout works. But what this indicator does, right, is it marks off the opening range for you. So that in this section here, we've got the first 15 minutes. So obviously the first 15-minute candle, or the first 3 5-minute candles, or however many candles is on 3-minute, right? Now, all you're looking for, right, is you want some kind of ideas to direction. So we've obviously got a market which is moving upwards. NASDAQ for this week was bullish for the whole entire week, right? So we've got a bias. Now, if you want to add something like the daily VWAP, okay, so the daily VWAP here would be just planted on the 11 p.m. open. I believe that for New York is 5 p.m. I'm not sure, you have to check with the time zone, but it's 11 p.m. for the UK, right? Now, we've got our Asian range marked here, which I have the Asian range marked mainly so that I can identify what day of the week it is very quickly. But sometimes also you see a sweep of the high or sweep of the low. That's kind of what happened here, or what tried to happen. But all you're looking for, right, once this range is set, okay, we wait for the first 15 minutes. We've got our bias. We're looking for nothing else other than a 3 or 5-minute candle to break out to the upside. Okay. If we're bearish, we're obviously looking for it to break out to the downside. So all you need is the bias, okay, and then a breakout candle. Now this one here broke out at 8.50. Okay. So we just take the trade based on that, right? We're not looking for anything else. We're not overcomplicating this. We put our stop loss just below the opening range, okay, because if we're breaking out to the upside, if it comes back in, normally it will react here to the mid part or maybe a little bit deeper down, and then it will, usually if you're right, it will keep going. It depends how much volume's on in the session, right? And then we're looking for nothing more than a 1-to-1, all right? So once you've got your 1-to-1, you need to be taking off at least, I would say, minimum 80% of your position, right? Because it's a 1-to-1 strategy with a very high win rate. If you're not taking the majority of your position off at 1-to-1, your win rate's going to suffer, because there's quite a high chance that it can come back to the break-even mark, in which case you either have to hold it, okay, and not move your stop loss and just let the system play out, or you need, like I say, if you've taken half or 80% of the position off, you can then, you know, move to break even and get on with your day, right? There are some cases, obviously with some other pairs, where if we break clean out above, you can just move your stop loss, okay? So this is generally my plan. Once we get to the 1R, what I do is I'll move my stop loss up here, and if we keep going, then fantastic. If we don't keep going and it comes back like this one did, well, I'm secure. I've secured my 1R, okay? And that's basically as simple as it is. I can't make it any simpler. We're trading this every single day in the live session, right? You're looking for nothing more than define the opening range, okay, which is here. You have a bias for the day, okay? There are occasions where it will go against the bias, where the market is changing direction. Not much you can do about that. There are also instances where you may get a sweep and then it closes back in before it closes to the downside. I'm only seeing that happen with gold, so I'm tending to stay away from gold, especially at this moment. Gold is just all over the place. So yeah, it's working a lot better with the indices. So it's working with ES, it's working with NASDAQ, it's working with US 30, although that's a lot more volatile. And it's also working with DAX. If anyone's trading on CFDs, you can trade this with DAX. It works exactly the same, okay? So we're basically looking for a 1-to-1, high win rate, bag and run. And so far, since I've started trading this, I've not taken a loss. I've taken a break even, but I've not taken a loss. Okay, so I'm going to go through 4 examples. Okay, I don't think I need to overdo it. All right, these are examples that have been from this week. Okay, the first one is ES, or S&P 500. Okay, and what you see here very clearly is that we just break out, okay, on a 5-minute time frame, and the next candle breaks back in. It actually reacts to this midpoint here, and then of course, because we're bullish overall, we actually come back up, break out again, right? So if you're not quite sure sometimes, because that does look like a GFX bitch candle, it looks like it may sweep and go down. If it does this kind of thing, I mean, you may already be in the trade and there's not much you can do about it. However, if you want to be just a little bit more patient, you can just wait for the second break. Sometimes it would occur where it breaks out, comes back down, and retest. So this kind of pattern here, a little bit higher up, that would be more of a retest entry, right? However, during the same session, okay, we're also trading NASDAQ, okay? So you can look for ES, okay, to break out and start going. And if that's the case, you've now got an additional confluence to take the trade, okay? Because if you look here, NASDAQ didn't close outside the range, okay? It still came down, in which case you wouldn't have been tagged into this trade at all, okay? You wouldn't have bought anything. You would have just sat on your hands. Once it's come down here then, right, it's moved back up, okay? So if you're watching the two simultaneously, which is what we're doing in the live sessions, you see the one which is breaking out, and maybe you're thinking, you're hesitating here. Once you see this is also moving up, okay, you've got NASDAQ as a backup plan, right? So you can wait, or you'd have to wait here. Once you get this first 5-minute candle, you can also use the 3-minute, by the way. I'm having quite a lot of success with the 3-minute at this moment in time. You take the trade on the breakout. You can see here the VWAP is holding, the VWAP is holding, the VWAP is holding. We got the range created from 8 to 8:15 in the morning. We don't break out anywhere here. Looks like we've swept to go down, okay, but the VWAP's still holding. Price moves up, price moves up. Looks like it's about to reject. We've got 5-minute candle close on the outside, and then price just moves. It's actually gone all the way to 2R. Okay, I took this trade and came out at 1R. I tried to trail my stop loss and I just got wicked out. Nonetheless, it's a winning trade. Okay, now the third one we're going to look at is a bearish example, and it's pretty much the same principle, obviously. Now you can see here we've got the VWAP, right? So this was actually against the trend on NASDAQ, but we're trading back to the VWAP. Okay, I can't remember exactly how this panned out, but I think there was a daily level up here, whereas the daily level was tagged. Price tried to break out, came back down. Maybe that's in the next example, but price has come down, and you can see just slowly, and then it's broke out. We've got a full body candle closed on the outside here. The next candle moves down. This one's gone straight to a 1R take profit, 1% or whatever it is that you're risking. It actually did pull back. Okay, so I again was out at 1R, pulled back down, and you trading back to the VWAP. So that's also a possibility if you're trading this system. Okay, now I want to show you this last one because this was taken by someone in the live chat. Okay, and this is an example of what you could potentially do as long as your risk parameters allow you. Okay, and that is, he took the breakout to the upside. Okay, the breakout occurred, and unfortunately it didn't go to 1R for him. But however, the belief in the system was very clear. Once it's broken out to the side that it's officially breaking out on, it stays that side of the opening range for the remainder of that session. So this actually moved, I believe, 2R, which recovered his loss. Okay, break even for the day. It also then created that 1R win. All right, so we end up 1R up for the day instead of taking this loss here. You can see it gets a bit choppy, right? We've got a GFX bitch candle followed by another one. This is on the 3-minute time frame. Moves down, obviously takes out any of the buyers that were going long. Okay, and then once this candle's closed and you've got another full body candle closure on the outside, you can take the trade. The first target must be 1R if you've just lost 1R. The most important factor I could stress here is that if you've just taken a 1R loss, you want to secure your profits at 1R. If it blows through, great, right? Anything over 1R is a win on the day, right? Try and get that scorecard green every day. It's not always going to happen, but you have to limit the amount of red that you have on your screen on a daily basis. You shouldn't be taking really 2 or 3 losses in a row with this system. I don't think it's going to produce that. Obviously, we're still collecting data, but long-term, one-to-one system, it's very clear that this breakout strategy works. And if you then couple that with candlestick anatomy that I've already been teaching you, the GFX bitch candle often occurs in this system. You can add into it daily VWAP, you can add a 50 EMA, any trend-based or supportive, like dynamic support that you have a preference to. You can use a fair value gap if you want, because you quite clearly got a fair value gap here. Look, I mean, if that is something that you very keen on, you can use that also. But for me, I mean, you find the trend. I'm using a daily VWAP, nothing more. I've added a Frankfurt VWAP once or twice just to give myself a little bit of extra confidence in the direction. Other than that, just trade it as it is. You got the range, you get the breakout, you take the trade, you take the 1R, you move on and get on with your day. All right, any questions, guys? Hit me up in the chat room. As always, there's plenty of chart examples which I'm going to continue to supply. And also we're trading this live every day on a live stream. So if you want to come to the live stream, obviously you're all more than welcome. You can either sit in and just listen. All right, you don't have to have any video screens or anything like that. You can sit in and listen with your microphone off, or you can join in with the conversation because yeah, it's good fun. Right, anyway guys, happy trading.